Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to. Wait, what is this? It feels like it's been forever since we've done this.
No, I don't know. I think it was like called like oh, what was it? Benchwarmers, spit and chicklets, something like that.
Something like that. Something we can ride the coattails off of.
Yeah, almost kind of, almost like, some guys like, they're riding the pine, So I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's right on the tip of my tongue, but I don't remember.
Something not that cringe.
Yeah, who knows?
Anyways, who are you?
I don't know. I could ask you the same question. You look like a hobo.
Well, you do hire the cheapest talent you could find. Free.
I didn't hire you. You hired me.
This is getting too confusing.
I hired you and you hired me. That's how it works, remember?
I'm already confused and we're not even a minute in.
Oh, that's just normal. It's been a while.
It has. What have you been up to, Drake?
Um,
Or
oh,
whoever you are.
I just finished eating a cookie and I'm currently drinking some water.
Nice.
Um,
Me too. Stay
and
hydrated.
I worked today. I was at school today, or I was at school this week. So,
Seems like a busy day.
hmm I was just vibing. I was trolling hockey fans on Instagram earlier. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Have you been anywhere interesting recently?
Well, yeah, actually, all for Christmas, I was in Arizona. I was hanging out in Arizona for Christmas. Go see the girlfriend, all that kind of stuff. It was a good time. Good time.
Did you go see any interesting place? Maybe an interesting arena?
I did. I did. I went to the one and only Mullet Arena, my friend. And
Ooh.
I'll tell you, I've been to a lot of arenas, but you go in there and it's not that big, right? Like something feels off, right? There's not a bad seat in that arena. So I was like up behind the goalies, it was all good. So I got to see Vimelka get scored on a whole bunch because the Coyotes just could not defend for the life of them. Matt Dumba might be one of the worst defensemen I have seen this season. Um, but no, it was weird because it's not a big rink. The food's really expensive though, right? But it's small, but it's loud, right? Like the atmosphere is amazing in there, right? Like I think it was the first goal that got called back because Jake O'Brien or Liam O'Brien ran over the he ran over Bobrovsky, right? But the arena went crazy, right? And then in the third period, this was after Jason Zucker took out the rat, Nick Cousins, right? And he gets handed, 10 in a game. And this is like the third 10 in a game this ref has handed out. Immediately people start chanting, "You ref, you suck." Oh my god, the all you could hear in there was "ref, you suck." It was so loud. Like it was amazing. Like anybody that says that the Arizona Coyotes are poverty for playing in a university rink, I mean, yeah, it's not a big rink, but don't knock it until you've actually been there. That place is a fantastic venue.
Yeah, it's definitely on my bucket list. I'd like to go see a game there. It's
I would recommend it. It is an amazing rink. It's
next
there's
year.
not a lot of room to maneuver. Like if you're going up to get concessions and all that, there's not a lot of room, right? It gets really cramped really fast, but like it's like I said, there's not a bad seat in the arena.
When Toronto's there, should make a habit of going.
Yeah, right. Toronto's never going to win a mullet.
That's okay. Well, there'd be more blue in the stands.
Oh no, that's true.
And then
Well, no,
that's all
it's
part of the
fine.
experience.
There were a lot of Panthers fans there. There was one guy, the guy that was sitting next to me, he keeps going on that he needs Verhaeghe to score multiple times to help him hit his bet. And every time Verhaeghe did something, he's like, "Okay, look, I love you, Verhaeghe, but I need you to score." And then Verhaeghe scored. Yeah, so it was good. It was good. Um, I had a choice. It was either go watch the Panthers or go watch the Islanders. And me back in like it was like August or September, I said, yeah, I don't want to watch the Islanders, man. Like the
I don't
Panthers
know
just
who
won the
would watch
Stanley
the
Cup
Islanders
final.
willingly.
I do not willingly want to watch the Islanders because they boring. I mean, I probably would have enjoyed an Islanders game too, but like that Panthers game, it was pretty fun. It was really physical. Um, I was kind of upset. I was wearing the Clayton Keller jersey and he didn't look too great. Cooley's hit or miss. He's a hit or miss kind of player, right? He's all right. He's not great. Jack McBain's a beast though. Janis Jerome Mosier. That guy's a stud. And I mean, Vimelka's he's solid too. Like a lot of these guys look a lot better than they look on TV.
Hey, you got to see game two legend Alex Kerfoot score the only goal. That's something in its own right.
Oh, don't get me started about that. It's funny because I lean over and I'm telling my girlfriend, right, that if Kerfoot was known for one thing in Toronto, it was for scoring well down the man, right? The amount of like it seemed like every time that guy was out on the penalty kill, he was getting a chance and he might have buried it. And as soon as I tell her that, he scores on the penalty kill. I'm like, well, what did I say? The only unfortunate part is I missed the fight. I missed the Zucker fight because I was getting a chicken burger at the time. So I'm like, nothing's really happening. There's about 4 minutes left in the period. I'll get up and I'll beat the rush. Right? You know what I do it every game. And go figure, as I'm walking back, I can't go back down. Zucker kills Cousins. There's a fight, and I can't see it. I was not happy.
Well, you'll remember that by the time you left to go get a chicken burger.
Well, yeah, and I bought that awesome puck too, where I pay like $20 for two pucks. I look at them, and the date on it is 2021, 2022. Like, I what?
Yeah, that's you have to wonder how that one slipped.
Oh, I have no idea. It was everywhere, right? Like they didn't have like the logo pucks we typically buy when we go out, right? It was just
Yeah.
like that game puck with like the 2021, 2022 season. I'm looking like, where was this? How do you still have these? That was 3 years ago.
Just trying to pawn off that excess of stock they got from the old arena.
Yeah, apparently. Oh my God, it was ridiculous. I'm like, what? And I didn't realize till after I paid for it. And I said I don't need the receipt. I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, so that was weird.
Oh, at least you got a funny souvenir now.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that'll be something to remember. That goes up there with me. All right, and before we jump into our main topic, there's another little bit of news. It involves a very specific Flyers prospect. I just like to say, and I'm going to try not to rant too much. I've been doing a lot of it. Cutter Gauthier has been traded to the Anaheim Ducks for Jamie Drysdale in a second. I just like to say, like I've read up on the situation, the way it went. Essentially from what it was is the Flyers did not sign Gauthier because they just didn't have the cap to do it. Right, it would have put them over with the bonuses, so they opted to send him back. So Gauthier proceeded to moan and groan about it, refused to meet with them anymore, and just say he didn't want to play there anymore. My outlook, incredibly immature, right? Um, these guys have given you an opportunity, and at the draft, you specifically told them, you can't wait to be a cornerstone piece for that team, right? And now here he is, he doesn't get signed right away. And before the team can even explain it, he's like, yeah, no, I don't want to play here anymore. Like that's incredibly immature and it's incredibly childish outlook. And the agent should be ashamed of himself, right, for not talking to Flyers either, right? Because all you have to do is sit down with the team, understand what they're saying, right? Understand what they're doing. All you have to do is sit down and the Flyers go, yeah, so we weren't able to sign you because we don't have the cap right now. We still really want to sign you, right? But it would benefit from a little bit more development too, instead of having you have to play, like bottom 6 minutes on in the NHL, right? That clears it up pretty easily. And he said, no, 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 no. They didn't sign me. They clearly don't want me here anymore. They don't like me. I want out. Like jumping to conclusions, it's ridiculous. But like that's it for the rant. Like you watch how the Flyers. Everybody's accusing them of going out and throwing them under the bus. They're not doing that. I mean, they're poking a little bit of fun of it on Instagram of Jamie Drysdale loves to be there. Someone that wants to be there. Um, but it's weird. Everybody's like, oh, that's just karma for Lindros. But the difference is Lindros told the Nordiques he didn't want to be there before they drafted him, right? Um, right. I just think it's a ridiculous situation. And honestly, like if this is the way that he's going to carry himself, I mean, we saw how the Americans carried themselves in the World Junior, right? They were pretty immature there too, right? Anaheim could be in for a world of hurt, right? They could have an ego on their hands now. And yeah, I don't know, but like just from my basic outlook of this looks really immature, and it looks like he's got a bit of an ego.
I heard somebody describe Anaheim as a bunch of TikTok boys the other day,
They
and
are.
seeing him sign, or he hasn't signed there yet, but seeing him part of that now, it just fits the bill even more. I find it hilarious.
The funny part about it is that he now that he's there, apparently Trevor Zegras has been made available.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know where Trevor Zegras is going to go, but that could be interesting. Maybe send him the Capitals, reunite him with Sonny Milano.
Yeah. My buddy is destined to believe that he's ending up on Montreal.
Oh, please. For what?
I don't know. Hopefully Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield, so I don't have to hear about them anymore.
Yeah, that's not happening.
The way you you know, apparently Cole Caulfield's the next coming of Gretzky, the way I've heard about him.
Cole Caulfield is better than Austin Matthews. Oh, there's there's some Cutter Gauthier spoke about Kevin Hayes. So you've seen that there's been a hate mail being sent to Kevin Hayes, right? So this is Cutter Gauthier today. I would like to especially say that he had zero conflict with anything that had to do with the trade. And saying all this stuff is pretty ruthless for what people are saying to that. But Kevin Hayes has nothing to do with the situation at hand. So at least, he's standing up for Kevin Hayes. So I'm sure Kevin Hayes will appreciate that. But I'm like, leave Kevin Hayes alone, man. Like, what's he going to do? He's on the Blues.
Yeah. He already commented on it anyways. He called out one of the reporters that said that. So,
Who, Hayes?
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I don't get it. Dude's on the Blues. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like what are the Blues doing
Anyways,
this year?
yeah. Anyways, Martin, there was a topic you want to talk about today. It's very near and dear to you. You work for one of the teams that's been making a lot of very questionable trades today and yesterday. We have the OHL trade deadline just passed. And oh boy, there's a couple wagons, there's a couple teams doing really weird things. And there's a couple teams that said absolutely not and blew it to smithereens. So I'm not sure where you want to start on this one today, because I mean you've been following a little bit heavier than I have because I've been busy. But let's take a crack at that.
Well, I've been doing media in the O for 8 seasons now, I think. And this is
Old,
the most chaotic deadline I've seen ever.
old fart.
I know but yeah, this is the most chaotic trade deadline I've ever seen in the O. It was just the eighth will go down in OHL history as just the craziest, probably most amount of trades in one day ever. Um, the one team that, you kind of expect things to happen, you win an OHL championship. The Pete's absolutely demolished their roster. I got
Oh,
my
everything
list
is
here,
gone. Gone.
you know.
Everything is gone.
Owen Beck was expected to leave. He's one of their best. He was their best player left. He was
Wasn't he
expected to go.
expected to go? I thought he was. Isn't he 20? No, he's 19.
Yeah, he's 19.
That explains it. He didn't even net a lot either.
No,
It
I
was
was
just a big
surprised.
return. It was a very low return from Saginaw.
I'm surprised Sagan even had the assets to give up.
Oh, Saginaw is just like emptying the cupboard right now. This is why they stocked up on assets like the last 2 years. All those futures was for this. They are a
Oh yeah,
wagon.
I'll get back to Sagan in a sec, but
Oh yeah.
Peterborough or Peterborough as we call them in Niagara. I don't know why it just became a thing. Uh, they shipped out Owen Beck, Sam Maillet, Jacques Dubois, Sam McHugh, Connor Smith, and Donovan McCoy, their captain. I mean, that's almost half your roster right there.
Yeah, it's a lot of players to be flipped. And that doesn't even start where they also launched Simpson into the sun. That is London at the start of
Yeah,
the season too. Othman left in the off season. Right. Like it just last year's team got blown to smithereens, overnight.
yeah, it's you see it happen in the O, but not to this extent. Like
Well,
this,
not this fast.
no, it was just like you look at teams that have won previously. Uh like the Bulldogs.
The
They
Bulldogs still maintain most of the roster the next season. They didn't blow
yeah,
it up all the way. They just weren't that. They were still all right. They lost a lot of their overagers, but like they didn't blow it to smithereens. A lot of those guys were still there most of the season.
Yeah, and you look at the Guelph Storm before that, and they were still a great team the year after they won the O. And, years before that too. I look back at London and they when London won in 15-16, they could have won in 16-17 as well. They kept so many guys from that roster. And then they blew it up in 17-18 and got swept by Windsor, which was, I think all the O cheered for that one, but
Still, it's it's just really bizarre to see. Like they just went like balls to the wall. Everything is gone. Like, are you 18? You might be gone. You 19? You're gone. Like a lot of the guys that could have come back next year are gone.
yeah, and they got some good picks. They got some 07s. They're
Most
probably
notably,
guaranteed a top 4 draft pick this year now.
I like their return of bringing in Caden Taylor. I think that's a really big move for them.
Yeah.
That was who was that one? They sent to Sudbury. Who did they send to Sudbury?
It was McCoy, I think, went to Sudbury.
Yeah, whoever it was that went to Sudbury, they brought back Caden Taylor. Let's go look. Let's go look at what Peterborough brought back because we talked about what they just sent out. Okay, so they also brought in William Halley today from the Steelheads for a conditional 15th. Okay. Other than that, they've also gotten Graydon Strohack for a third, fourth, and fifth from Flint. But yeah, so it was Donovan McCoy for Caden Taylor in a fourth conditional, right? Then they brought back Aiden Young, who's a good prospect, for 2 seconds in a third, right? In like 26 and 27, right? They traded Jax Dubois for a second, third, and fifth. They traded Sam Mayer for a second, third, and fifth. Um, right? Like, yeah, everything just got gone. It was something you did say McHugh, right?
Yeah, McHugh's gone too.
I can't find it on here. Why is it not on here? Yeah, they don't have McHugh posted for some reason. But yeah, I know
No?
McHugh got launched too. Like they just launched everything into the sun. Everybody got traded, and I love what they did. Like it is going to be such a good rebuild because they got so many assets to work with now.
Oh, McHugh was part of the trade to Owen Sound with Connor Smith.
When
That
was
was
it?
a that was right after New Year's. So that was a
Wait a
little
minute.
bit before
I'm
the
scrolling back a
chaos.
little bit more. Let's because this let's count this too, right? New Year's wasn't that long ago. Um, I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. Where are we at now?
It's one of the last
I'm back
postings
in
on the OHL
November
site.
now. How am I back in November? What? Now where am I? I'm mid-December. What is going on? Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, and they brought back Nico Addy. Like, that's just such a beautiful rebuild right here. Like they got so
Oh
many
yeah.
good assets. It's kind of like what when Mississauga was blowing it up, right? And they brought back Porter Martone, they brought back Jack Van Volson, Angus McDonald. Like they were on a roll, right? Like Peterborough's doing the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. I like what they're doing.
Pete's are gonna be a wagon in a few years for sure again.
Yeah.
Another team, you know what? This is such a weird year in the O because there doesn't seem to be a front runner. It's it's very wide open. And I've
No, there's
heard
a whole bunch of teams that are at the top and a whole bunch that are at the bottom.
I've heard teams talk about this and specifically I was overhearing a conversation from I'm not going to mention any names, but a team that is in the Western Conference, and they were talking about their management, and they're like, nobody knows to go, like who to go for it, like nobody at the time because it's wide open, nobody knew who was going for it, who wasn't, because it's just
Seems
open.
most of the teams are going for it this year.
Oh yeah, I mean, you
And
look
even
at
then, it's not like it's clear who to acquire because it's not like the past years where they have major like headliners, superstars in the league, right? Like last year, it was Shane Wright was still in the league, Brant Clark was still around. There were questions whether he get moved, right? This year, there's no Brant Clark, there's no Shane Wright. There is none of those guys this year, right? The big headliner was Owen Beck, right? Any of those other top guys were already on those top teams.
Oh yeah.
It was weird.
You look at a team like the Kitchener Rangers, and I think as good as they are this year, I think they're going to be even better next year. I think this is a bit of a premature top roster, or I don't know what to call it, but
They're just good. I think they're good now, and if they keep it together next year, like it the OHL is like theirs next year if they keep most of it
oh yeah.
together. Pretty sure almost everybody on that team can return. Here, actually, we'll go have a look at it right now, okay? Because they got Edward Saleh today too, right?
Yeah, they got him from Barry.
Yeah, right. Like they're on a roll. Give me a minute. I'm gonna go look at their roster because I'm pretty sure most of that team can return. So let's see. They got both their goalies are 04s. Uh, Bruce Stevich is an 04. Not sure if he's going to be back yet. But there's a good chance Bruce Stevich would be one of their overagers probably. Philip Masar is probably gone.
Yeah, I'm surprised he even came back
Misalovic,
this year.
right? But let's talk about the major parts that can come back. So Mateus Stark, Edward Saleh, Luca Romano, Carson Rakoff, Philip Masar can come back. Tanner Lamb is going to be good. Justin Botno, Cameron Arquette, Olivier Savard, Cameron Reed, uh, Carson Campbell, Hunter Brustevich, Matthew Andonovsky. Like a lot of their main big end talent can still return. Like all of them can return. It's just a matter of some of them might not. But most of the like Rakoff, he's going to be back, right? Brustevich, he might be back because I think he might be 19 by that point. Actually, most of these guys are probably going to be 19, right? Brustevich is 19. He doesn't turn 20 until November. So he'll be back. He's not going to be in the AHL, right? Let's see. Philip Masar, I don't think he's going to be right. No, he's 20 now. Never mind.
Yeah, Machar will be gone by the end of
Masar will
this
be
year.
gone. Um, right. They got Thomas Hamara. They got Roman Schmidt. Well, he's going to be gone. Right. Sally, I believe, will be he'll be able to go back. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Yep,
this
he's
is
only
only his first
18,
year.
right? So Sally is only 18. He'll be back, right? Like most of their top end talent is eligible to return next year, and they probably will be back,
Yeah, and they'll
right? And I think that's what makes Kitchener so dangerous.
yeah, Kitchener will be a wagon next year for sure.
Oh, Kitchener is going to be yuck. They're going to be good. Um, I next year is going to be Kitchener's year, I think.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, they're going to make a run this year, but I mean, you're running into like Saginaw and Sioux, and that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, the Sioux's biggest pickup this year, they reunite the Hayes brothers. Gavin Hayes goes over to the Sioux. I think that's a great pickup for them.
I loved that pickup for them. And he was just fresh off of a World Juniors win too,
I
right? So I
think
mean, yeah, that's a great pickup.
I think it's great consolation for not getting a and not picking up Owen Beck. It was my understanding that Peterborough wanted their first round pick. I can't remember his name right now.
Who from
From the Sioux.
they wanted the Sioux's first round pick?
Yeah, they're
Brady
for they're oh 07.
They wanted Martin?
Yeah, and he didn't want to go.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so they lost the Owen Beck sweepstakes, but you know, it, Gavin Hayes is a good consolation for sure.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, yeah, I would have taken Hayes instead of moving Brady Martin for Owen Beck because I mean, good chance Brady Martin is going to be better in the OHL than Owen Beck is currently. What's the point? Like Brady Martin will be one of your top guys. There's no point to move him for Beck, right? Go out get Hayes instead. I think Beck he fits where he got sent.
Oh
I
yeah.
think Beck going to Saginaw was a great fit. I think everything Saginaw did was great.
I almost didn't think they were going to acquire him after the surprise return of Josh Bloom
Well,
right
Josh
after New
Bloom going
Year's.
back was so weird because everybody's like, because what was it? Dean Lucas gets traded, right? And everybody's like, what's going on? I'm like, it's the Owen Beck trade, right? Because everybody knew Beck was rumored to go to Saginaw. And then Bloom comes back. I'm like, what? That I wasn't expecting. So yeah, Bloom's back. Then they pick up Beck. right? So, and that, right, that's for like young and all the stuff, right? So, okay, that's great. Then they pick up Jorian Donovan, who was just at the World Juniors, right, for a whole bunch of seconds and thirds. That's a beautiful pickup. Then they get Aiden Castle for an 11th, and I don't know
Former
what
first
he,
round pick.
yeah, former first round pick, right? Like they had a beautiful run, right? And then yeah, like Bloom came back, right? Like you can't make like they are going to be a wagon from here on out. And that's not even, they still got Rodwin Dionisio, right? They still got Zane Perek. They still got Michael Misa. Like, oh my God, right? Like they're going to be nasty.
And it seems like right away they're already building some chemistries. They just blew up the Spitfires 11-3 tonight. So
Oh, but I mean, it's the Spitfires.
I know, but
Not like
still,
the Spitfires are a good team, and they just sold anything good that they had.
yeah, one of those weird trades was up here going to Flint.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why Flint is picking anybody up to begin with,
That's
but
probably one of the best
picking
OAs
up,
available in the league, and going to
and
Flint.
yeah, he's going to
Very
Flint. Yeah,
strange.
just then why is Flint picking up an OA, one of the best OAs in the league? Right? Like it doesn't really make sense. You would think he would go to one of the better teams, right? It seems weird, but I mean, it is what it is, right?
You know the weird thing this deadline is
Niagara Ice Dogs.
wow, that's just a given, but that's what not where I was going with that one. In the Western Conference is a battle right now. Yet London didn't do anything, which is very strange.
It was weird. I was just thinking that too. I'm like, did London make a move? I'm like, I don't think London did anything. But I think there's a reason why, right? London does things differently than everybody, and they got to figure it out. London isn't typically very active, right? They like to go out, acquire a bunch of 19-year-olds, and then flip those 19-year-olds for more 19-year-olds. They do it all the time. It's always 18, 19-year-olds, and then they flip them
Oh yeah.
before they're Rangers for younger guys. But like this year, like they don't really need to because they're a bit of a younger team, right?
They did make
And
one acquisition.
who? I
One
forget.
second here. Because they're
Give me a second. I'm looking it up right now. Yes, they did. Oh, they picked up William Moore, who's probably never going to play. Oh, wait, no, they traded William Moore,
and
and he's probably never going to sign with Barry.
they picked up Caleb Lawrence to
Oh,
replace Ethan McKinnon.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's really all they did is they replaced, right? They replaced one of their overagers because he's done, right? Because of concussions, and they picked up
Yeah.
another overager who's absolutely massive. Like Caleb Lawrence is huge. He's like 6'5",
Oh yeah.
right? But yeah, no, like they were quiet, but I'm not surprised they're quiet, right?
Yeah, they don't really need to do anything. I don't really think this is their year. I think they have another year to go still
No,
before they
you want to talk confusing. We talk the Ice Dogs because nobody knows what they're up to. Again,
I don't think they know what they're up to.
right? So they go out, right? So we should go as far back as Vandenberg, right? They trade Vandenberg. Okay, whatever. Up comes Charlie Birds. Then they go out and they trade Brody Crane for what was it, like a sixth? And they traded like a third and a fourth to get him. So what's the point? Just hold on to him and try and move him next year, right? Hope his value comes up. Okay, whatever. Then they go out and they get Charlie Robertson. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? I thought they were running with Burns. So Burns gets sent down. Right? So they do that. Okay. They win the Sobolev trade, in my opinion. I really like Callum Chanowski. So I like that trade. I think the Sobolev trade, really good for him. Then they trade for the rights of Anson Thornton.
It was just a troll job to make sure nobody else got him.
I mean, it's possible, but still, that's the most bizarre thing. Like, this is literally it. It's so weird,
There's
right?
a
And then wrap things up. They proceed to trade their captain in Zach Lavoie for not very much.
he wasn't doing anything anyways, so
Keep him anyway. Keep him till the end of the season and hope maybe his value comes back up.
yeah.
You still got another year for him. Trade him as an overager.
There's quite a few years ago now. Uh, Niagara held their first round import draft pick was one pick higher than the London Knights, and they drafted Timothy Liljegren with that spot just so London couldn't get him.
Yeah, just because they knew he would have come over if he could play for London.
Oh yeah,
And who did London take?
I don't remember. Not anybody notable, if I remember correctly.
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna go look at this for a second and see because instead of trolling, there might have been something they could have done. That year would have been what? Would have been like 2016,
That would have been 17 or 18. I think
2017
2017.
OH or CHL import draft. Okay, let's see. I think this is the Lilligren year, maybe. So let's see. 17. Andrei Svechnikov. That was the Svechnikov year.
Yeah, he played one
Uh,
year.
I'm looking for the Ice Dogs on here. Oh, the Ice Dogs were good this year. No, it can't be this year. Actually, the Ice
It was
Dogs.
2017. They picked 13th overall. Picked
They picked
Timothy Liljegren.
13th? I don't think this is this year. Oh, they did. Yeah, they take Timothy Liljegren. Then there's Valdor, Saskatoon. Ottawa was the next team up, and it was Nikita Okhotyuk. Um,
I'm just trying to see if there's anybody notable.
let's see, let's see. That's what I'm looking. So Okhotyuk,
Oh, London took
and then
Jesper
Martin Kaut,
Bratt.
Nikita Alexandrov was all right. Christian Reichel, uh, Sam Fujimo. Um, oh my God, yeah, this is not great.
London
Um,
took Jesper
London
Bratt,
took Jesper Bratt.
and he never played in the O.
Still, like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me right now? Like, you
Oh,
tried. Oh,
that's
Sandin
that's
also
the
went too. Rasmus Sandin
yes.
went 52nd overall.
And Sandin was a stud in the O.
Okay, so they tried to pull a troll job just for London to still get an elite hockey player, and they're just lucky that he didn't play.
Yeah.
And then after that, there's Philip Kral, Leafs legend, and actually, yeah, there's this is not Jacob Blocko, I guess. Adam Boquist. Oh, London Knights got Adam Boquist too.
Yeah, and he actually did
Rasmus
play for the Knights.
Kupari was in this draft. Okay, so basically they went out, they tried to pull a troll job. Lilligren probably would have gone sooner anyway, right? There's no way Lilligren falls, right? This guy was projected to go first overall by this point. Wait, no, 2017, he was already drafted, but he was a first round pick. There was no way he was falling to 49th overall in an import draft as a top 20 NHL pick.
I think it was already known that he wasn't going to play in the O. He was he already made his intentions clear.
Still,
Yeah.
right? Like, what's the point on doing that to troll? You're trolling the London Knights who pick like 40 picks later. What's
Oh,
the point?
they had a good import that year until he got benched one game and then requested to go home.
Who, the dogs?
Yeah.
Who was this?
Andre McCalla.
Wait. He got benched he played one game and got benched, and they just told him no?
Well, he was a
Or
healthy scratch.
like he
He was
said,
a
no, I'm
healthy
out of here.
scratch, and then he requested to go home.
This is what year? 16, 17 or 17, 18?
That would have been 7-18.
17, 18. Defenseman or forward?
He's a forward.
A forward. Andre Mahala, I see this. What the? That's like, what was it? Was it Leafs when they got Semyonov that one time? The guy comes over. He doesn't play many NHL games. He's not that great. And he just says, yeah, can I just go home? And Leafs are like, yeah, why not? Yeah. This dude, he plays 56 games, gets 25 points his first year. Second year, 17 games, 4 points, gets scratched one game, and then says, can I leave?
Yeah.
And he goes back to the Czech league. Oh, actually, he left. What? He spent this whole time in the Czech league. He's not actually that great in the Czech league. He's actually been in Czechia too. He is now most recently in Latvia, and he's doing really well in Latvia. He's got 33 points in 21 games,
I'm glad to see him doing well.
but that's in Latvia, and he's 25. Oh, but no, like these drafts, like the the import drafts are always the most interesting thing ever because it's so much like this year, or was it last year? Last year was or was it this year? This year's Aaron Kiviharju, isn't it? Or was it last year?
I don't know.
I don't know either, right? But there's so many guys, and I know like there's ones where there's a couple of Russians that people want teams to send down, and they can't send the Russians down because the CHL won't let them get imported. Who was it that I'm thinking now? There was one specifically that they were thinking he would get sent down, but there's nowhere for him to go because nobody owns his rights, and it's weird. But no, like back to the deadline. Like today is just like the last 2 days have just been ridiculous, right? The Bulldogs have been up and down, right? You think they're selling, right? They go out, bye bye, Jordan Donovan, and they're like, yeah, welcome Zach Lavoie. I'm like, why? Right? The
I don't know.
67s are kind of bouncing around. The Spitfires added pieces for some reason. Like my bad, and I forgot something else. So the Ice Dogs acquire Anson Thornton and then trade Charlie Burns to the Otters. Why?
And that was the only Otters move, if I remember correctly.
What's the point, right? Just leave him down in Erie and bring him up next year,
I don't
right?
know. It
Flores is
might have been
gone
a
anyway.
might have been a
Or I mean,
request.
Flores. Well, I figure that's what it was when they sent him down, and right, he probably requested out after getting sent down yet again, and them going out and getting Robertson, who I'm pretty sure is the same age.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Today was weird. The teams were like all over the place. They weren't really consistent with what they were doing. They were just doing whatever they wanted to do. Right? It looked like a day in the trade deadline playing franchise mode.
Yeah,
Right?
literally.
You don't know who's going for it, but apparently everybody's going for it, even when they shouldn't be going for it.
Well,
I just yeah.
it's gonna be an interesting second half of the year.
It really is because it's wide open now, right? Then maybe that's why London didn't do much because they're waiting for everybody else to struggle with their chemistry, whereas they're going to be right. They got their chemistry.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they didn't do a lot, right? I don't know. It's definitely gonna be an interesting season though. I can't wait to see where it goes. Hopefully we get some playoff games. Um, and even if you look at the other leagues too, like the WHL has just been vibrating all day. Nate Danielson got traded.
I saw
Not sure if
that
you
one,
saw
yeah.
that. And then in like over in the queue, they started a little bit earlier, right? Like they started way earlier, right? So all the top talent was mostly gone, but like all the top teams loaded up. All the weaker teams like just said no, right? Like I don't know. It's been interesting. The O like they took forever to get going, and then once they got going, it didn't stop.
I have a feeling the NHL trade deadline's gonna be the same because just like
It's
the
either going
O,
to be
the
ridiculous or it's
NHL
going
is very wide open this year too. So
it really is. And you don't really like you look at the market and it's not really clear what the market is right now. Right? There's no real clear goalies on the market, but there's not really any clear teams on who need goalies either, right? And you look at who's on the market of the notable UFAs, Patrick Kane, who's probably not getting moved, Steven Stamkos, who most likely won't get moved now, right? Like it's a very interesting deadline, right? And there's not a lot of chatting. Like, what is it here? I'll pull one up. I was just looking at a post a couple minutes ago before we started. I think it was a Sportsnet post. Sportsnet.
but we'll have that episode in a few weeks. We'll talk about
Yeah,
that
so
more in
here's
depth.
their 25 trade candidates, right? So Jake Allen, Adam Boquist, Michael Bunting, Anthony Duclair, Mario Ferraro, Morgan Frost, John Gibson, Jake Gensel, Noah Hannafin, Adam Henrique, Niels Hoglander, Andrei Kuzmenko, Kevin LeBanc, Elias Lindholm, Ilya Labushkin, Jacob Markstrom, Elvis Merzlikins, Sean Monahan, Tanner Pearson, Andrew Peak, David Savard, Nick Seeler, Chris Tanev, Dan Vlader, and Sean Walker. Like legitimately, you look at it like Lindholm and Henrique and Hannafin are both getting moved, regardless. They're the only two really big fish on the market other than Jake Gensel, who's like 50-50 chance. Because odds are John Gibson might get moved, but he might not net as much as he used to. Adam Henrique, he might get moved. Right? But it's not like a lot of top end talent this year to watch.
A lot of that's just sealing up your depth.
What do you mean?
It's just, depth pieces, sealing the bottom half of your
Yeah,
D or the bottom
right.
six of
But
your,
it's
I
so
don't know.
weird. Like I mean, Hannafin.
There's no big names.
Apparently the Coyotes are in on Hannafin. They really want Hannafin. Lindholm is probably going to the Bruins or the Avalanche, but probably my bet's the Bruins. Um, Jake Allen. I don't think Jake Allen gets moved.
I don't think so either.
Right. Adam Boquist, I mean, he could go anywhere. Michael Bunting, I mean, there's probably somewhere out there. Apparently, the Leafs, if they trade Gensel, Duclair could be a nice pickup. Ferraro, I'd love to see the Leafs go after if they want to shore up.
I was thinking the same thing.
Frost needs a change of scenery. Gibson, apparently, the Devils want him like badly. Jake Gensel, there's a couple suitors for Jake Gensel, but can they afford him? Like, I could see him go to Dallas. Would Dallas make sense for Jake Gensel?
I can see that.
Right? Adam Henrique, I'm not really sure who could use Henrique anymore. Niels Hoglander, I'm not sure. Kuzmenko, apparently the Capitals have been connected. Kevin LeBanc, Labushkin, I mean, if you want a depth defenseman, why not? Markstrom and Merzlikins, I mean, it depends who wants a goalie, right? Like, who's really, like, other than Los Angeles? Los Angeles would make sense to go after, like, Merzlikins or Allen because they only have Talbot right now because Copley's done for the season. And they're both UFAs.
See Edmonton
Monahan,
going after them.
Monahan could be an interesting move, depending where. Pearson, I probably wouldn't touch. Peak, all right. David Savard, probably not. Sealer is pretty good. Chris Tanev, he could net a decent. Vlader, again, like where? And Sean Walker, I mean, right? Like it's not star-studded like it normally is. Because reportedly, even if the Devils suck, they won't trade Patrick Kane.
The
It don't make
Wings.
sense. Hmm?
The Wings.
The Wings. Yeah, I don't know why they're not moving Kane, but okay.
I heard him linked to Winnipeg today. I don't know how real that is.
Not going to happen. I'd say if Patrick Kane gets moved, he's going to Dallas or he's going to Vegas because those were two teams that were already in on him.
I could very much see him in Vegas, but I don't think they have the
Or
cap hit for
Boston. I
him.
could see Boston trying to pull something. But
Yeah,
like realistic, apparently the Wings just don't want to move him. And like I said, the Penguins might. It's very possible that the Penguins move Gensel, but it's a matter of where.
I don't blame Detroit for not wanting to move him because they could realistically be in a wild card spot, and you
They're
want that
nowhere
playoff
near. I don't think
experience.
they're even in a wild card right now.
Are they? I haven't checked standings in a while,
No,
which
I'll look at it right now. I don't think they're a wild card right now.
the standings change every day though. It's really confusing.
Hey, so the current wild card in the East is New York and Tampa Bay. Detroit is 4 spots back. New Jersey, they are tied with New Jersey, Pittsburgh, and Washington, and all those teams have games in hand on them. And they are
Jeez.
also tied with Montreal for or no. They've got 4 points on Montreal, right? And then after that, right? But they got a leapfrog Pittsburgh, Washington, and New Jersey, who have games on them. And then that's not to mention Tampa Bay and New York, who are in the playoff picture. It's not happening.
Better luck next time, Detroit.
Yeah, right. So I mean, I'd move him, and like I said, like Jake Gensel, like where would Jake Gensel even go? New
Yeah,
York? Can New York facilitate that? Would New York do that? Maybe. Would Carolina do that? Maybe. I could see Florida, but they don't have money. Vancouver could make sense, right? Like really shore up their offense. Dallas would make sense to get them ahead of Colorado, but like there's not a lot of takers this year, in my opinion. Right?
oh,
I just don't know.
a quick jump back to the Saginaw thing. I just got a text from my buddy Kyle there. Owen Beck had 6 points in his first game with Saginaw.
Holy crap.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be a wagon.
Yikes. No, that is yeah, nope, Saginaw's a wagon. Book it. They're winning the M Cup,
Mem Cup vlog in May. Wink, wink.
right? No, did I haven't mentioned on here yet my argument with the Bulldogs fan. This guy's really upset, right? That they trade Jorian Donovan, right? I'm like, he's gone next year anyway. They go, yeah. well, we could realistically make a run. We're top of the division. I look at it, I'm like, your team would be fourth in every other division right now. I'm like, you are the top of the worst division in the league, where you share it with Oshawa, Ottawa, Kingston, and who was it? Oshawa, Ottawa, Kingston, and Peterborough. I'm like, congratulations, you're the best of the worst teams in the league right now. Right? I'm like, no, you trade him, get the assets. Next year is your year.
To be
Right?
fair, there's a lot of first year fans in Brantford right now, so
It's so
they don't
confusing.
know how the O
I've been
works.
watching hockey my whole life. You're just an idiot. And I'm like, that's not how the CHL works. I'm like, you wait. Because look, if you wait, right? The Sioux, I'm pretty sure Sioux falls off next year, right? Because they don't have all their headliners. Um, Sudbury could realistically lose Musty and McCoy. Uh, Saginaw is still going to be strong, but a lot of their big, like old guys are going to be gone, right? Guelph, and they've got an older roster going. London, I mean, London is London, and Kitchener is going to be dangerous. But like other than that, like that's the year the Bulldogs go for. Oh, and North Bay is going to be done, right? All their top guys are on. So I mean, next year is realistically the year the Bulldogs would go for it because there's not much competition anymore,
It's
right?
okay. These fans will figure it out eventually.
Yeah, no, next year they're like, oh yeah, this is so great. The rebuild was great. After they were crying this whole time that management is stupid for selling players. Like CHL is weird because people never, despite the fact that they've been fans for years, they still don't understand why teams trade players and sometimes why they trade like 20-year-olds for nothing. I'm like, it's because he's not going to be back next year anyway. So you get something. You get the best deal you can get
It's because
versus
Bulldog
losing
fans
him
are
for nothing.
spoiled.
Yeah, right. That's like watching you. You've seen what's going on in Watachi, right?
Oh yeah.
Right, where they trade Geeky and they trade Savoy, and they almost traded Swart, and everybody's like, why are they doing this? They're the best team in their division right now. Now, yes, they are the best team in their division, but they're probably not winning this year,
No, last year
right?
was
Because they
their
run into Prince
year.
George. They run into Prince George, and they run into who's the other top team I'm thinking of?
So Lethbridge is one of the top ones, I think, right?
Swift Current is good, but there's a different team. There's someone else I was thinking. Medicine Hat's good. I was saying it the other day because I was saying it's. Give me a second. Because I specifically said it's probably going to be that. Oh, Saskatoon,
Oh, okay.
right? But I'm
Blades.
like, the issue is if those guys leave next year for nothing, they've got like no picks in like the first like 4 rounds in for like the next 7 years. So yeah, you blow it up, you get your right, you get your stuff, so you're not terrible for the next 7 years, right? And what really hurt them is the fact that Benson never went back
Yeah.
because they could have gotten so much off of
Oh
Benson,
yeah.
or they might not have tried to rebuild at all, right? But yeah, I don't know. CHL deadline day always interesting.
Especially this year.
Yes. Anyways, we've been, yapping, babbling, however you want to say it, for probably give or take an hour now. I don't know. People are probably getting tired of hearing her voice, and I've got work tomorrow, so I've got to be awake. So I should probably go to sleep soon. So, you know, not sure if you want to take this out, give us a nice intro or outro.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been fun in Yap City. Uh we covered a lot of grounds. In a couple of weeks, we'll probably have your NHL trade deadline video. We're also probably gonna talk about the CHL top prospects game. Talk about who the great
Kevin
players
Hughes
are,
snubbed.
who's the snubs. I already got one in mind. Uh, but we're gonna talk about that. Maybe get a couple of guests on in between, and yeah, there's lots to
Maybe
talk
get
about.
some pre-draft rankings to talk about.
Absolutely, we got our choices.
Yeah, should be a good time.
Well, Drake, thank you for riding out on Riding the Pine.